Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This week we are going to take a look at how to balance the handstand, what you're doing wrong with your balancing, and how you can improve your handstand. Coming up. If you have been practicing the handstand for some time, you probably noticed that the two hardest thing about the handstand is balancing and having that straight line in the handstand. So something that a lot of people neglect is the relationship between your alignment and your balance. So basically, if you have poor alignment, you're going to have to work so much harder to maintain the alignment and the balance of your handstand. And if you have a good alignment and your body is stacked with each joint upon each other, it's going to be a lot easier to maintain the balance and you will need less strength to hold the position. And of course, if you have an awesome alignment but you can't balance, then you're going to be stuck on the wall or just kicking up on the floor and falling down each time. So you need both of these components and you need them to work together to make the handstand as easy and as good as possible. And in this video I'm going to take a look at both of these aspects and how you can develop both and how you can combine them to help create the best handstand that you can do. But enough talking, let's get into the video. The first thing we are going to address is the alignment of your handstand. Your alignment is going to be dictated by a series of factors and far too many to cover in this video. The first thing you need to address is your overhead mobility, or your ability to open your shoulders above your head while maintaining a hollow shape with the ribs in. If you can't open up your shoulders properly, you will have to compensate by arching your back, which is going to ruin your alignment and it's going to make the exercise harder. I have done a few videos on shoulder mobility, so I will put a link to a shoulder mobility playlist in the description if you want to learn more about improving your shoulder mobility. The second thing you need to focus on after you have improved your overhead mobility is to spend time learning the cues and technique we use to actually find the correct alignment and align in your handstand. The key aspects of the handstand line is the following: PPT, or posterior pelvic tilt. This is going to remove any arch in the lower back and allow for a flat back position and a straight line. You can practice this by standing against the wall, placing the arms straight overhead with your knees slightly bent. Then you want to rotate the pelvis back so your lower back is flat against the wall. Try to do this without engaging the abs and glutes too much. That way you will be able to find the line easier without needing to engage those muscles as much. Elevation of the shoulders is one of the most important aspects of your handstand line. If you are not elevating the shoulders and engaging your upper back, you are going to have poor alignment. When the shoulders collapse, the back is going to follow, and elevation is simply the movement of shrugging your shoulders towards your ears. To practice this movement, you can simply grab a weight plate between 5 and 15 kilograms, and you want to lift the weight overhead. Fix your pelvic position, make sure your back is flat, and then you want to push the weight as high as you can without bending your arms, or lifting the shoulders up in a overhead position. Ribs in and down. A common issue for people who lack the mobility in the shoulders is the rib flare. This is where you lack a stable and controlled core position in your handstand. So what you want to do is to lightly engage the abdominals and pull the ribs in sort of a crunch movement. The challenge here is going to be to maintain this position while you are opening up your shoulders. It's going to be a natural tendency that your ribs are going to want to flare out as you bring your arms overhead, but you must do your best to maintain this position and keep the ribs in and down. To practice this, you can simply do the first PPT drill against the wall, or you can simply stand up straight with a stick overhead and then go from a rib flare to pulling the ribs in and down. Once we have the alignment down, the balance is going to come from your hands, or at least that is the goal. In general, people will tend to balance from the feet first, and then gradually going down the body until the balance comes solely from the wrists. So in the beginning of your handstand training, the balance might come from piking or arching. Then it might come from leaning forward with the shoulders and closing the shoulder angle. Then it might come from bending the elbows to rebalance. And finally, once you have full control over your line, you're going to be balancing only with the wrists and fingers. During the handstand, the balance is going to shift from the palm of your hand to the fingertips. As a beginner, your focus should be on using the fingertips as much as possible, as this is usually the weak link in terms of balance. You can then slowly start to place more weight in the palm of your hand, which is going to be more effortless since there will be a completely straight line from your feet to your hands. And when you are balancing with your fingers too much, you're always going to be slightly over balanced, which means that it's going to be a bit harder to maintain the position, but you will also have more control. The best hand position will be to think like you are grabbing the ground with your hands. So you want to think about only keeping the palm of your hand and the fingers in contact with the floor. So you want to focus on keeping only the palm of your hand and the fingers in contact with the floor. And you want to think about keeping the fingers slightly bent and focus on pushing them into the ground as hard as you can. The balance then is going to transition between the fingertips and the palm. If you find it difficult for the fingers to maintain control in your handstand, then you can try some of the following exercises to increase the strength of your fingers and hands. If you want to take your handstand to the next level and you want to take the guessing game out of your training, then you can check out my Handstand Mastery program. It's a complete program that teaches you everything that you need to know about the handstand. It gives you a simple and easy concept to follow, and it gives you all of the progressions that you need to develop your alignment, your balance, your shoulder mobility, core, hollow body position, and all that good stuff. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description, and if you have any questions, then please leave them down in the comments. Thanks so much for checking out this week's video. If you want to see more videos, then please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed it, then hit the thumbs up button and hit that notification bell as well, just to make sure that you are notified of all of my future videos. Thanks for this week, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.